Good evening. Welcome to Xbox Tavern's X-Pod Tavern episode 119th. I am Jamie and I am joined this week by MPV Graham.
Hello.
Hello, MPV Graham. How are you?
I'm well, thank you. How are you?
I am, as ever, spiffing, although a little bit chesty still. I know we spoke earlier in the week. Still not quite over it somehow. But it's not just me suffering with Graham. It's also Scottish Gruff Ross. Bring him in. Hello, Scottish Gruff Ross.
Hello.
Hello, welcome on your new super speedy internet we were talking about just before we started.
Woohoo!
Is it all set up and ready?
Well, let's find out if it blows up midway through the podcast, because then no, it's not.
And what sort of speeds we're looking at on the Highlands of Scotland now? 10,
It's
12?
not the fucking Highlands, man. I'm right in the middle. So no, I think I'm at like 60, 65 just now, and it's due to go up to 250 late summer.
Oh, proper catching up with the times, eh?
Oh, with the modern world now, yeah.
Is that kilobytes a second? Is that
Pretty much. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah, good.
It's actually a little guy running downstairs, like just sprinting to try and keep it powered.
Well, we can sit here and banter all day, but we're missing the Millie Man Ian because he's off
Galvan.
getting Florida. Outrageous. But we have got a very special guest in his replacement. The one, the only special guest, Pete.
Hello, good evening, one and all. How are you?
hello.
Spiffing, special guest Pete. It's
All
been a
good.
while since we've had you on. How are you?
Yeah, it's been a few weeks. I'm well, thank you. Looking forward to tonight's action-packed, heavy news we've got all for this week.
Heavy news. We've got so much news to talk about this evening. So
Fastest news
stuff to get real in depth.
Ever.
We'll get to the news very shortly. But it's nice to be here once again. We record it every week, Sunday, 8 p.m.
Yes.
Nice. I was teaching my kids to do that earlier on. I might have to get them to record one for us one day.
Oh, nice.
But yes, we're going to get straight into what we've been playing. And let's start
If
with
you
Project
keep getting
Game
those
Pass.
kids to do sound bites for this podcast, you're going to have to start paying them soon.
I mean, if I'm not getting paid, they ain't getting paid. But let's start with Project Game Pass. I don't suppose we did have a sort of scheduled date to play it. We missed that mark because Ross's new internet was coming in ready, hot off the mark. Special guest Pete,
Yes.
have you played any Redfall?
Yes.
Woohoo!
Have you enjoyed any Redfall?
No.
Woohoo!
Good. Right, let's move on. So I want to hear from you because obviously me and Graham have spoke quite a lot about it in the past, and Ross briefly mentioned he'd sort of dabbled with it, but I don't know. Well, I'll get to him in a minute. But you're fresh. Bring us your hot takes.
I mean, I got up to the first vampire, killed it, and thought that was enough for me. It was so underwhelming. I probably should have prepared Ross to play the video, but I sent you guys that clip in the WhatsApp group of just what my experience was of just punching things, making the same sound. And then that really kind of circus bit where I thought it'd be funny. I thought I played the piano. Then it got all the nearby enemies, and I'm just standing there ready for a fight. I aim my gun up. Right, here we go. Bit of a battle, but no, they just started standing around going, "Where is he? Where is he? Where is he?" I'm literally like 5 meters behind them. I'm just turn around. That's all you got to do. As it was just, I was really disappointed. I mean, I didn't have high hopes for it anyway, and this just kind of just didn't grab me at all. And it goes back to slight sidebar here. Obviously, when we were reviewing Hi-Fi Rush, and I was saying about, it was good for what it is, but again, it's not going to lead to any kind of franchise in the future. And again, Redfall, given the state it was launched in, I think we've all said that the 30 FPS wasn't an issue. It's just everything else was. And I think, again, a game like Redfall, it's going to have no longevity. It's going to have no sequels. I don't know where it goes from here.
Yeah, I think if it had come out in a better state, we could have been more optimistic about it getting seasons and updates and eventually sequels. But yeah, as it is, everyone's kind of gone, that's a bit shit, really, isn't it? Let's just move on. I saw earlier on Arcane Leon, admittedly not the Austin studio, were advertising for their net project already, which is not a good sign for Redfall's continued support, I imagine. I think Austin as well were doing the same thing. So obviously you only played it on your own.
Yeah.
Which character did you pick?
I can't remember. The one on the far right, I think. I can't remember which
Male,
one it was.
female?
I think it was female. It wasn't the Raven person. I can't remember what it was called now.
Layla with the purple like powers, which is the one I went for. And then you've also got what's I said Devinda.
That's
I
what
can't
I
remember.
picked.
I can't remember. It's been a few weeks since I played it.
Javelin
But I didn't get to use the ability anyway, so yeah, I didn't get that far in. I killed my first vampire and thought that was it. You know, when you make a game like that, it's basically another zombie game, but you swap zombies with vampires, and it's like, same
poorly
format over and
implemented
over.
vampires as well.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, I still would like to get the four of us together to play at some point, hopefully this week before we move on to the next Project Game Pass game. But Ross, have you had any chance of checking any more out at all?
Yeah, same as Pete. Finally got round to actually just deciding to beat the first vampire. Yeah, I kind of bummed me out. I was really hoping this was going to be something to like get your teeth into with the whole RPG aspect of it, but it's just I don't see, and there is some redeeming qualities, not many, albeit, but it's just so underwhelming as to like this was. As much as there have been other games like the Hi-Fi Rush obviously had its like great success when it launched and things like that, but this was the first one that had hype behind it in regards to let's see what Xbox and Bethesda are going to come out with, and they produced this and it was sort of like, well, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Let's hope StarCraft doesn't, or fucking Starfield.
Oh no, I didn't record the thing I was going to do it. Starfield.
Was it you, Ross, that mentioned as well about what I said about the stealth gameplay, where it says play the way you want, but you can stealth and sneak, but you can't actually do any.
Yeah, there's no actual like prompt to do like a stealth kill. So you just get behind them and go, "Oh, right, you didn't die after that, and you now know where I am." And there was absolutely zero benefit to me being stealthy. Fantastic.
Yeah, there is generally. I mean, even like especially if you're playing with people. You can't go stealthy. I mean, granted, I was playing with Graham. He's not going to go stealthy even if I paid him. But
no,
like you're going to have all four of you. Like, right, you wait here while I sneak in for 10 minutes. Just wait there. Don't do anything. Just watch me do the stuff. Okay, right. You can come. Yeah, it didn't really work, unfortunately. Yeah, very disappointing. I haven't touched it again since we were last time me and Graham played it, I think. But yeah, like I said, I definitely would like to get the four of us on just to give it a go. 4 players and see what it's like before we move on to whatever
give
Gene's
it
game will
the best
be.
possible chance to get any praise.
Yeah, because it has moments, excuse me, of like redeeming qualities here and there, but it's almost like if you take a game like Road Rash, for example, and then compare it to Road Rage, it's just utter like just completely misses the point of a game of what that sort of style of game is supposed to be like.
And how many years they work on this for as well?
Far too long, because it was delayed a year, and I think it was already in development for a good 3 or 4 years before that. So they've had plenty of time to do it, and it's just I mean, you can read my review up on xboxcam.com now, and it's just underwhelming from.
I think the other part that was
every aspect.
Just as the disappointment was obviously they had said that when people first seen it, they automatically jumped to like Back 4 Blood or Left 4 Dead type idea. And then, like, they were very quick to come out and go, no. It's more in the vein of sort of Far Cry. It's like a Far Cry type game. And to an extent, yes, in regards to the premise of it, but it's so empty and devoid of, like, everything that you need to make an RPG like that. It just feels like Left 4 Dead. It just feels like you just go along, like, mindlessly killing enemies.
Also, Far Cry, you can stealth kill.
There is that as well, yes.
Even in co-op, you've got a bit more options there. And Far Cry, even though a lot of people say, it's just the same thing over and over again, it is. But
it's done well.
It's done well, and there's very little sort of downtime. So it's like you might get to a camp, and then in between the camp and your mission, you cross, dozens of like guard encampments or random encounters or animals or hunting missions or all sorts of stuff. Whereas this, you go from one place to the other, and you might see maybe 1 or 2 vampires along the way, and then they're boring, so you just run past them, and then you get there, and well, that was the most tedious trek I think I've ever taken in a video game.
How long
completely.
did it take to complete the actual story or main mission for you, Jay, in single player?
I haven't actually reached the end yet because I've been waiting to play it in 4-player. But I'm in the second island, second map, and it's taken me maybe about 15 hours to get there.
Okay.
So it's not a short game either, but it's just tedious.
So where's the replayability then? Like in terms of if you're playing it
there
with
isn't.
friends, like
That's the thing, because I'm further ahead than the rest of you.
Yeah.
You can all join me and sort of skip ahead to where I am. But if I want to play with you guys, like when we started playing with Ian the other day, we all had to start from the beginning again, which is fine. But me and Graham were way overpowered, so we ended up just rinsing through enemies when Ian was slightly struggling, or not struggling, but like we might as well do something. So we'll join him in and fucking kill some things right now. But then if you want to start with you, we'd have to start back from where you are again with our overpowered characters. Or if you want to pick a new character, you have to start again. You can't chop and change as you're playing solo. And it's just, there's just many decisions that are completely baffling as to why they.
So do enemies or vampires get harder as you get along, or they just level up to where you are?
I think they're supposed to, but we didn't really notice, did we, Greg? I know you said when you played on your own, you found it a little bit harder than when we were playing together, but
it was much harder compared to we're playing with you. I mean, it was barely any interest happening. I mean, the only stuff going on was them. They were hiding, not wanting to fight us. It was just barely any enemies, and I had an assault rifle. It was just 1 or 2 hit killing everything. Vampires took about 3 shots before staking them, and it just wasn't difficult at all. But playing by myself, even though I had to start all over again, it was ridiculous.
Oh, yeah.
Not the greatest. Not the greatest release. I mean, obviously, hopefully they'll continue to improve it somewhat. They've still got the 60 frame per second patch, whatever's supposed to be coming out. Whether that will reinvigorate the fortunes of the game, probably not, but we'll see. But while Ross has disappeared quickly, we mentioned Far Cry a minute ago. Let's get into what we've been playing. And special guest Pete, I'm going to start with you because I'm very excited to see that you've been playing an actual good Far Cry style game in Far Cry 3.
So before I obviously start talking about it, have you heard what the definition of insanity is, Jamie?
I can't remember. Please enlighten me.
Constantly going back to FIFA, knowing that you're going to get rinsed by some sweaty over-the-top through ball and then a cutback.
Exactly, doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. So I finally got around to playing Far Cry 3 after completing the rest of them, like the past year or so. Finally got into number 3 and completed this week, and that's how I thoroughly enjoyed it.
Nice.
The story was good up until the end, where it got a little bit dodgy. I didn't feel a connection to the characters. I felt it was quite obviously. I don't know how much you guys remember playing it, because obviously it came out on the 360, but it definitely seemed to rush the relationships between yourself and all your friends that you were on the island with. But it was, it is almost as if the Far Cry 3 was the template for success in terms of the definition of insanity. But they're getting actually good results in terms of the sales and what the games are in 4, 5, and 6, New Dawn, etc. I thoroughly enjoyed it. It's definitely up there. I don't think I've played a bad Far Cry game, which is, quite unusual when you play a franchise with that many entries. There's usually 1 or 2 dodgy ones, like yourself, Jay, with Resident Evil. I can't remember, is it 4 or 5? You say that's not as good as the rest.
5's a masterpiece. You could be 5.
4 out your mouth there. 5 and 6, especially 6. Fucking hell, what a dread. Well, yeah. I still like them, but not only despite themselves, not because they're actually any good.
Yeah, whatever. You can look at any franchise. You look at Final Fantasy and you think, 10-2 was god awful. But Far Cry 3, just obviously I haven't played 1 or 2 yet, and I doubt I will because that's probably not going to age very well. But it's there hasn't been a bad one. I mean, I even liked Primal was the only dodgy one that people thought, but I really enjoyed Primal as well. So kudos to the Far Cry people making good games.
Yeah, like I said, I always enjoyed them. I know they're very similar, across the board, but it's simple, fun gameplay generally, isn't it? Like, go here, collect this, shoot this, go here, collect this, shoot this. But
yeah,
it's always
and like you said, you were literally just talking about Redfall, and we were saying that when you go from A to B, you've got. I mean, to be fair, there was one time I followed the road and there was about five broken down cars. I'm like, Jesus Christ, here we go again. But yeah, you've got the bases to take down. You've got obviously all the artifacts and the radio towers, which get ridiculously harder on this southern island. But yeah, just more Far Cry goodness, and it was definitely the shortest, which makes sense because it was a 360 game. But it was definitely good. Yeah,
it's still. I still have very fond memories. I probably would say it's probably still my favorite, although the rest come pretty damn close. So, did you play the remastered version?
Yes,
did you
the
play
one that was made for the classic edition or whatever it was?
Yeah.
So
I did buy that, but I haven't actually got around to playing it. I suppose you wouldn't know whether it looked much nicer than the 360 version then, but did it look and run okay?
Yeah, looked and run absolutely fine, to be honest with you. You can tell it has aged a little bit with some of like the driving mechanics and stuff. And it's quite comical sometimes. You can literally jump from a meter down, you lose a bit of health and think, but it's easy enough to heal yourself and stuff, so.
And once you power up old Jason Brody, you get some decent stealth kills and be able to jump down from skyscrapers and kill people. And
the funny thing is, like, you can unlock things like double jump kill and double like underkill, but I thought I never used them. There was never an opportunity, which was a bit weird because usually when you unlock it, that usually means that there's going to be that. But no, but I was fine with that. I quite like playing Far Cry as I will snipe the people. I will snipe obviously you've got ME20 bases. I'll get my sniper out and I'll take down all the snipers and I'll take down all the grunts I think could cause me issue. Then I'll go in and try and stealth my way in. And it's a quite interesting way to play.
That's the only correct way to do it, by the way, Graham. I don't know if you're listening.
See, that way, Graham, you get a bit of gun action and you get a bit of stealth action, so you get the best of both worlds.
That sounds exactly how I would play Wildlands.
Stealth action.
Sorry.
So the best of both worlds would be no stealth action.
Yeah.
Sniping people while he's got a loudspeaker going, "Come here, bastard, I'm ready for you."
There was one funny thing which I found incredibly funny. There was obviously I was just about to overtake a base, and they keep the animals in the cages, and you can release them to cause chaos, right? So as I was about to kill the last enemy, I kind of broke the cage free, and I killed the last enemy. That does the fated black thing where you take over the base, and obviously your troops come in. But then obviously what happens? The tiger then starts attacking your own people. And to be honest, I just let it kill about 5 or 6 of them before I took it down. So I was like, they're shooting, but they're not hurting it. And I'll get my
they should have seen before they walked in that there's a massive tiger.
I know. I was like, if they're going to walk into this town, and the tiger, they're just going to ignore it. I was like, that's on them. That's not on me. So, yeah.
And did you do much of the hunting stuff as well? Because obviously you can skin ants, like special animals to give you upgrades.
I made sure I got all the backpack stuff. Didn't do all the hunting, but I made sure I got all the rare ones so I could upgrade all my rucksack and stuff like that. But yeah, I killed all the captains, the people who need to die. We have to kill them with the knife. Yeah. That's what I think. That's what it said about Far Cry. You can do that on the way to your quest, so you're not going out of your way to kind of do these things. They're literally on the way, which is great. That's what you ask for in the game, really, isn't it? Give you something to do on your way to your quest.
Very nice, very nice. So the hunting one where you got to hunt the shark. Do you remember that? And it's like down in the depths.
That was easy.
Yeah, I know, but that was the one that triggered the sort of irrational fear of water in video games. I sat on a boat for ages. I was like, I can see it down there because when you scan it, it gives you like the shadow. I'm like, I'm gonna do it. And so I killed it from the boat, and I was like, right, ready? And I literally closed my eyes. I was like, dive. Okay, I got it. Dive up. Ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous.
I was gonna say I don't remember that being pretty scary, but yeah.
Well, no, it's not. That's the problem.
Has that not got a name for it? Was it? Is that not something like Thalassophobia or something? It's fear of deep water.
Yeah, it's like fear of deep water and things in water.
Yeah.
Oh, terrifying. Anyway.
Yeah, the only bad thing about the Far Cry 3 story was, I think, near the end where Citra was like, "I love you." I was like, "Oh, fuck, no, No. You literally know me like 2 days. No.
Yeah. You didn't stay with her, no? You started.
No, well, I mean, rescuing my friends seemed like both options at the end was a bit like, that's the only thing where the last bit was a bit like meh. Obviously, the missions were good, but the actual ending of it, I was like, I might as well just go with my friends. I'm not going to stay with a woman who's just told me she loved me after meeting her 2 days earlier. No, that's a red flag.
Yeah, just a little bit. Yeah, probably run a mile from that one, but I'm glad you finally got to it because, like I said, you've been working your way through them all. I think pretty well regarded, but the first one's very different.
Yeah. I think I kind of after 6, I kind of far cried myself out a little bit, so I wanted to give myself a nice little break and then play it again when I was ready. And not disappointed.
Happy days, very nice. That warms my heart somewhat. Ross,
yes,
let's get to you now. You've been playing a certain game. We won't mention what platform you've been playing it on, but you've been playing a game that's supposedly quite hard. Well, tell me all about your Ring of Elden.
So, I got a sucker for a challenge. Basically, my mate came to me and says, "Look, we've obviously seen the Elden Ring games, the Dark Souls games, and things like that. And with them, you've got your drop-in co-op and things like that. So we thought, why do we not see how we get on? And then we can sort of treat it like if needs be, we can drop in each other's games and try and take down the bosses and see how we get on with it." So I was like, he's like, "You don't need to worry about it. I'll chip in. I'll get it. Like you can just sort of jump in and try and help me free of charge." I was like, I'm not going to say no to a free game. Bastard it is. Absolute bastard. I'm trying to think when I started this game. I think I started it Thursday. And I've put 21 hours into it already.
Yeah.
This game has consumed me.
And ended at 5,000 deaths in that 21 hours.
Well, actually, right now, and I'm not claiming to be some sort of Souls expert because I said when Ian had played it that I would love to be able to play these games, but I'm shit. But what I find, I don't want to say easy to do Elden Ring, but see, because it's open world, you're not stuck in it like a path. So in Dark Souls, as much as it's not linear, like you can only go one way, it is sort of designed to take you to a point. So if you get stuck behind an enemy, you're like, "Oh fuck, I need to kill this enemy to get to the next part I need to get to." Whereas in Elden Ring, you fight something, you go, "All right, shit, I'm way too fucking low level to fight that. Let's go to the other direction, see what the enemies are like in that area." And you're like, "Oh, these guys are actually not too bad. I can get past most of these guys." And then you get a couple more levels, and you're like, "I'll go back and try and fight this guy. Oh, look, I bet on this thing." So it gives you, like I say, it's not easy, but it doesn't restrict your playthrough. Like, I need to get good and beat this one guy, otherwise I can't get any further in the story. So we're not in any, like, as much as I've put like the 20 odd hours in, I think I've killed like the first boss and that's it. I might be going through the motions of becoming too overpowered because I think I'm level 45, 46 maybe. Yeah. And like I say, I've only killed the first boss, so I'm way further ahead level-wise than I am story-wise, but it's a stunning game. It's just visually, it's absolutely gorgeous. Like there's not a big drop-off between cinematics and gameplay.
It did look great.
It's wow, absolutely beautiful game. Co-op is, I suppose, people who do the Souls games will know it's not as simple a case as invite friend and your friend jumps in. You've got to have certain items to make co-op play available. So it's weird because you put a summon sign down and that basically tells people that you're open for business. So they can recruit you into their world. Standing with a red light over you, like, hello, come on in. But you'd think it was the other way about. Like, you think if you put the sign down that people would come into your game, but no, it's so they can summon you into their game. So once you get that item, you've got that all the time. But if somebody wants to summon you into their game, they need to get another item that's a consumable. So you either need to learn how to craft it or buy it every time you want somebody to drop in. So it's a bit tricky getting it set up, and the other part of it is there's no icons. So if I put my summon sign down, unless I tell the person where it is, they'll just stumble across it. that doesn't like put a beacon up to say your friend X is at this place. So like, you're trying to do the best of your ability. It makes it easier if like you're at a site of grace, but if you're in the middle of a field somewhere, you have to like try and find like points of reference on the ground. So like, that tree that's over on the left, take 15 paces east, and you should be roughly where my sign is. And like, you've got somebody walking around and going, right, I've taken 50 paces. I can't find it. Where is it again? So, a bit overcomplicated, but I would expect nothing less from a Souls-like game.
Of course, yeah. They got to make even fucking join a movie.
Exactly. Joining co-op, you'll fucking struggle for that, lads. Combat, I don't know, I could be wrong, but I don't find it as difficult. Again, could be because I've went ridiculously overpowered, but I don't find it as difficult as I have when I've tried to play something like Dark Souls. The leveling up system is fucking complicated in regards to I suppose it's like XP, like you maybe only need 10 XP to go from level 1 to level 2, but to go from level 35 to level 36 you need like 100,000 XP. But they do it with your currency in game, so you've got to balance up. Do you want to spend money on buying equipment, or do you want to spend money on leveling up? So it's a balancing act with that. But so far, absolutely loving it. I'm shocked at how much I'm enjoying a Souls game, and I can see me being one of these people who put like 200, 300 hours into this game. I'm enjoying it that much, especially for the fact it's got like New Game Plus with different armor and stuff like that you can get over the base sets. So yeah, Elden Ring could be my go-to play game for a wee while. Damn them taking Ghost of Tsushima away from me.
So have you been only playing it in co-op for?
No, I've been playing it solo as well. I think the reason it makes it so much better is because you can play as an out-and-out samurai. So I'm like, yes!
Yeah, so you got double samurai whammy.
Exactly. So Elden Ring, I can quite easily see why this one game of the year. It's wow.
Very nice. Sorry, Pete, you were about to ask something.
No, I was about to say that I tried Elden Ring when Ian purchased it. I think it was around Christmas time, wasn't it? And I think, like you said, Ross, I don't think the enemies were that difficult to start off with. Like I'm not a Souls game player either, but I just found it hard to get into because I was like, where am I going? Why am I doing it? There didn't seem to be any kind of like, okay, I'm just in this world. I didn't seem to get it. I don't know if I missed something, but I was just, it didn't grab me in that first half an hour. I did a tutorial, I got into the world, and I was like,
yeah,
defaulter in Pulp Fiction.
It is a wee bit sort of overwhelming in regards to that because like there's like a big bit of gold energy in the sky that sort of tries to pull you in the direction that you're meant to go. But the world is that expansive, it's very easy to lose sight of that. So, and because another thing that I'm liking about it is there's nothing segregated. So 1 minute you can be fighting an enemy who you can like two-shot and doesn't bother you at all, and then next thing a dragon's landing next to you. What the fuck? You're like, holy shit. Like the very first part, it's the first thing you see when you come out, so it's not a spoiler. There's something called a tree sentinel. Massive, big, huge fucker on a horse. And he will pretty much own you for about the first 20, 25 levels. But he's the first thing you see as you come out into the main world. So you go, oh, baddie. Ha, dead.
It's like, from two worlds.
I was like, God damn it. So that's like, I quite like that about it. Like everything you do is with a little bit of trepidation.
This is what you need, Pete, innit? That icons everywhere. This is one of the,
wow. Is that a mod?
The meme that come around is it was a meme that people put up, like if Ubisoft made Elden Ring, it's just like icons literally everywhere on the screen. Just,
yeah.
Like, well, Matt, do this, do that, do this, press this, do this, go ahead. Yeah.
It's not even just the icons. It was like, what am I doing? Why am I doing?
I mean, that map's a lifesaver. If you had that, I mean, the maps in game is not too difficult to work with, but just having it on your screen at all times that you can just refer back to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I will happily get lost in a game world, and any games like I can't remember what they're called now, like, any kind of JPIGs like a Ni no Kuni or whatever, and you just get lost in the side quests and going around and leveling up and doing all the things. But there was no kind of, well, what's the end goal here? I know it probably does. There is something that grabs
to become an Elden Lord and claim the Elden Ring.
Yeah, didn't get it. I will give it a go again at some point, but I don't think it'll be anywhere near in the near future.
That's fair enough. And then me and Graham will just completely bypass it because no.
If it does get heavily discounted, then I might pick it up because I'm not going to lie, I am slightly interested in it.
Yeah, I'm always interested to try these sort of games, but my interest wanes almost immediately when I go, oh, I ain't got time for this shit. I'm not interested in spending the 100 hours learning how to beat one fucking boss. But Graham, there was one, but
before you move on, there is one wee quote part. I was going to give him a pass and not humiliate him, but fuck it. So with the Souls games, you obviously get your runes, as I was saying, and if you die, you can, like, as long as you get back to the point where you died, you can pick your runes back up again, so you don't lose them permanently. So playing through it with my mate, like I say, I've been playing it single player, so I'd already seen quite a few things that he had missed. So he was like, where do you want to go? Is there anywhere that we can get like runes quite quickly? I was like, if we head this way, there's quite a big enemy. He's not a boss, but it pays out good runes. So sitting there trying to do like cheesing techniques, like hiding behind this big stone monolith. He can't get all the way right round it, so you put your head out, shoot him with a couple of arrows, pop back in. He hits him with a couple of bits of magic, so on and so forth. Life goes down. His runes go through the roof. So he's like level 3 at this point, 3,000 runes, thinking like this is the best thing ever. Go down onto this beach, a couple of other big enemies, cheese them. He's thinking this is brilliant. And there's a wee fire campment. He's like, fantastic, we'll go there. Doesn't think that in a Souls game, everything's out to kill you. Proceeds to run into the water and just falls off a cliff. Instant death. When you die, I get kicked out of his world. So I'm still standing on this beach like, cool, I'll just wait on coming back. So I'm sitting there standing right next to where his runes were, and he has to get past all the enemies that we've just killed by himself because I'm not in his world, and I can't get back into his world till he hits my summoning spot.
Yeah.
So he then tries to get past it. All these runes that he's worked hard for and spent the last 25 minutes cheesing, he gets one-shotted by the massive big beast and loses absolutely everything. I'm like, fucking brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Right, I genuinely thought...
You should always stay out of the water.
Well, I was like, why did you think in a Souls game that going around anything other than solid land was going to be a good idea? Well, I don't know. Why did you tell me not to jump in the water? I was like, because you've just answered the age-old question of if somebody told you to jump off a bridge, would you do it? Yeah. Because nobody told me not to. Fucking idiot. So yeah, I genuinely for a second thought I was going to hear his controller hit the TV. But he composed himself and then just said, I'm going off for the night. Duns.
Waited until the headset was off before he
exactly.
Fuck.
I mean, I see his point. That is one of those almost I'm not playing this shit again moments when that happens.
It was when he said that I was like, yep.
Because you wasted your life.
Like, how do you fall off a cliff?
I was like, I'm not going to get that piece of my life back. I've done all of that for nothing.
Yeah. In fairness, he looks back at it now and he goes, 3,000 runes. It wasn't tons compared to what you eventually get up to. But yeah, he was.
But it's still that time. I imagine it still took you a length of time to do it.
He was not best pleased.
It depends whether you feel like the effort put in to get back there was worth it. Yeah. Like, did I enjoy that enough to do it again? No. All right, off it goes. Goodbye.
I'm done.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes. Well, let's. We'll keep a running tab of your Elden Ring adventure. Perhaps your friend will get his runes back one day. But Graham, tell me all about a game you've been playing, which is called Favour 2, Melodies of Steel, or Melodies of Steel 2, whichever way around it is.
Yeah. So this one was a bit of a surprise. I see them every now and then. Sort of every time something new gets added to Game Pass, I thought, stuff it. I'll give it a go. It looks kind of interesting. It had a different concept on
the power of Game Pass.
Yeah, well, that's why I like doing it. So I told you that's how I found some of the other ones. I did like Floppy Nights and the other one I recently did as well around the I can't remember what it's called now. What's with the grid of soldiers, but I remember. Merge and Blade, that was it. So this one's sort of, I mean, I didn't play the first one, but I saw the fact that you were in this kind of big old tank and you're facing like another tank, and I thought, okay, that's a bit different. And then I was like, oh, but it's still a turn-based. I was like, okay, well, how do you kind of pull that one off? And it's like, oh, okay, you got different people on different turrets and they do different things. You got like a machine gun turret, a big old missile turret, and a grenade launching turret. I was like, okay, so I can see how they got it different turrets. That's how you've done the different people. So they kind of mixed it up a little bit. And then it gets a bit weird as I sort of get into the story. And it's like, they're all kids. I was like, that's a bit weird. It's war torn, and like the eldest one's 13, and like you got like a 7-year-old, an 8-year-old, and 9-year-old, and this is a continuation from the war from the first one. They had to fight off this big tank in the first game, and it was all war torn between two factions. I was like, it's pretty heavy for kind of kids, but it is what it is. Got a sort of anthropomorphic kind of fox-like human people. And it just, I mean, I don't mind kind of turn-based battle games like that. I mean, sort of obviously Final Fantasy ruled the roost on those kind of ones, but I like new takes on them because they're kind of interesting. And it's got the same sort of things. You got special bits that sort of reduce armor. You got ways if you hit them with the right kind of weapon, you delay their turn, so you get more kind of turns. And it kind of does it in, you have like a path across the top. And it could be the first circle is you fight them you fight a couple of enemies, then you go down the next path, you get some health back, you go down the next path, and it's a story interlude, and then it splits, so you can pick either a more harder path or you can take the easier route, and then depending on what you go down, there could be some more health, more fights, and like those are the kind of decisions you make. And during the game, because you're fighting to try and retrieve your friends, you've got story-based decisions to make kind of through the combat as well. So it's just kind of, I mean, your typical kind of Japanese storytelling, which is always kind of quite gripping and heartfelt, etc. But it's just, I can't believe the involvement of kids, and it's kind of really heavy. So the kind of moral is the tank that you won the first war in was being repaired, and it's kind of just taken control of itself with some of your crew from the first game in, and you've got to then take the tank that you beat in the first game to try and catch up with your original tank to try and get your people back. So you kind of roles reversed in the kind of the second game, but to try and get your kind of people back. And it's just a neat little kind of Japanese animation kind of game with a different kind of play and take on the turn-based kind of tactics. And every interlude you can kind of build up the relationship. There's quite a few different characters that like you can unlock. There's about 20 or so, and as you build up the friendship, you kind of get extra perks or skills, like an attack might heal you a little bit, or when you do delay the enemies, they get delayed a little bit more than usual, or those kind of things. There's just a lot of different nuances in between the actual fighting. And there's obviously your typical crafting as well. But I'm liking the kind of story. It's quite cool, other than the sort of overly reliance of kids at war. But other than that, sort of the combat's quite interesting.
What else are they going to do?
What's that?
What else are they going to do? Sit around and play Roblox now? It's into the war.
Yeah. Well, as a 13-year-old, as a leader of a war, fighting in a tank. Yeah. Bit sort of heavy, but other than sort of the random heaviness of the story, I'm quite enjoying it. It's kind of, if you like that kind of game, which I know you're kind of interested in, those sort of Japanese RPG ones as well, turn-based combat, Pete, that could be a game you might be interested in as well.
I was going to say, special guest Pete, does this float your boat, what Graham's saying here?
Yeah, I've been looking at it and I'm alarming about it. If I hadn't started a new game like yesterday, I probably would have maybe had a look at that one instead. But it's on my list to have a look at.
Happy days. I did try the first one when it was on Game Pass. I don't know if it still is, but I only played maybe an hour, and I was not for me. But it's good to hear you're enjoying it and enjoying the power of Game Pass. Check out a new game. I give it a try. Something to enjoy.
That's what it's there for.
Exactly. Well, that's what I thought it would be a bit more of an interesting thing to do, sort of sampling some of the kind of smaller games that come into Game Pass just to test them out and see what they're like. But only if they're in kind of my wheelhouse. I ain't touching any racing games or any stealth. As the clip says, stealth is for fannies.
Just so you know, Gray, you can do a bit of stealth in Elden Ring as well.
Yeah, you can, but once again, stealth is for fannies.
Yeah. That's not the option in Graham's world, unfortunately. If you join him, it's all out action or nothing.
Exactly. Yeah. Leave the stealth to the hide and seek fannies.
Damn right. Speaking, I'll hide and seek all day long. I do enjoy a bit of stuff, obviously. But yeah, no good. Does. Good. So you didn't play the first one? You said, Gray. You didn't play the first one?
No. But I might, depending on how far I get with this. If I do end up completing it through, I'll definitely have a look at the original to see what I think.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, because I'm not sure if it still is. I think it might have left Game Pass by now, but it's worth a look if you're enjoying it. Nice, happy days. Good. All right. Well, I'll jump in very quickly and tell you all about a wonderful game called Tin Hearts. I'm going to go with that one first, because that's probably one of the better ones. It's a puzzle game where you got little toy soldiers, like automated toy soldiers walking around. You got to just direct them to the goal, and it's all there. It's almost, I suppose, probably why I like it. It's almost reminiscent of something like Pikmin, where everything's you sit in a house, but all the action is very miniature. And you just get them from the box they're in to the goal, and along the way there's different sort of story elements, as you can see in the trailer here. These characters sort of pop in and fill you in on what's going on. The dad's like a toy maker, and the daughter's he's building his daughter like a dollhouse, and his wife's just being a lovely wife and playing music and making sure they're happy and stuff. And it's a charming little game. It's really hard, some of them. Like, I was doing a puzzle earlier on, and it took me probably an hour to do it. Just one room or one area, because I did cock it up, so I had to start again. But the general gist of it took me about an hour. And you literally just placing objects down, little shapes to sort of divert their flow, because they'll just walk in a straight line until you tell them otherwise. And there's little things like you can see there where they get balloons so they can jump over large gaps, or drums they can bounce to different areas, and cannons to fire to knock ladders and stuff down. It's just really charming. The music's lovely. It looks lovely. The story, it's like overly sweet at times, but it's entertaining enough. I had hoped to get my review up because it came out last Friday, I think. I had hoped to get my review up for when that was launched, but I mean, things like Zelda are taking up some time, unfortunately. But I'm really enjoying it. I use the word charming a lot when it comes to games that I play that people might not have necessarily heard of, but it really is just fucking charming, this game. And it's a nice game to sort of sit down, play maybe 2 or 3 puzzles, get through it, and then I'll go and play something else now and come back to this later on.
It's funny because you said charming, but then the Jack in the Box just ate a
soldier. I did pick probably the only moment there that I shouldn't have done to say charming. But even then, because like say for example, the Jack in the Box comes out, he'll eat your toy soldiers as they try and walk past. But the mechanics of the game allow you to rewind at any point. So you just hit the trigger, rewind to when they're alive again. You can pause the action so they stay still while you set your path up. Or you can fast forward it because they do walk quite slow. So once you set up, you want to speed it up really, because otherwise they'll be
sounds like
hours walking.
Yeah, I was
in a way, it's sort of Lemmings-ish, yeah. And there's certain areas you get to in some of the puzzles where they give you a new power, so the option to angle the drums that they can bounce on, or place down an extra block, or angle the what they call the little wind things that spin in the wind, the little I can't think of windmill things. Sort of angle one of them so it'll blow them on the balloon so they get further on their trajectory and stuff. It's just, like I say, it's quite challenging at times, but it's really enjoyable and just a nice little way to especially the Sunday morning, wake up, have a quick go of a puzzle, get annoyed because I cocked it up and start again, and then do it again. And it was lovely. So yeah, really enjoyed Tin Hearts so far. I'll get my review up in the next couple of days once I played a bit more of it. But highly recommended if you love a little bit of light-hearted puzzling action.
Definitely sounds like a charming out of 10.
It is a charming out of 10 indeed. Yeah, a bit of lemons, bit of Pikmin, bit of joy, really. A little bit of lake in its nice, wonderful atmosphere. Oh yes. But yeah, the soundtrack's fucking awesome. Anyway, right. I'll talk about another game in a minute. Switch gears, Pete.
Hi.
Let's get out of the way now, shall we?
Which one?
Well, you guys might as well all team up on this, I suppose. Let's get the weekly FIFA update, shall we? Let me have my coffee and I'll.
Well, it might be nice and quick because my 7-year-old has just started playing FIFA. So I've been playing FIFA with him for the last week. We've been playing as different teams and winning the World Cup with with Switzerland. We lost in the quarterfinals playing as a Qatar because they're not very good. But I'm happy to say my son's gone from he's at the point now where semi-pro is too easy and professional is just borderline, but he's getting better at professional. So I'm like, so he's been playing about 2-3 weeks now, and he's on professional level. So I'm proud.
So he's already better than me. Good to know.
Yeah, that'll be a good match, Harry versus Jamie.
I'd like to see that as well.
To be fair though, Jay, he would have done you proud because there was one game. He was like, "Daddy, what happened? I want to find out what happens when you get all your players sent off."
Good lad, keep it up. I hear if you do it every game you ever play, it makes the game more enjoyable. No self-mode on FIFA.
He goes, "Oh, this guy's got a red card. I'm going to sub him off." You can't sub off red card players, Harry. Yeah. All right, that's my FIFA done. Right, next.
Nice. All right, who else wants to talk FIFA then? Let's get some more FIFA in act. Ross,
I'll let Gray go and I'll walk off Gray.
I didn't even put on my list this week, but I mean, I can't lie, I've been playing it. But,
exactly.
But
just like Jaden put Zelda on his list.
Yeah.
As I said,
I've only played it for an hour this week.
It's closure piece, and I've been getting a bit of luck with a few more kind of team of the season picks.
Luck.
The latest one being
that's a nice word for FIFA.
You know what it is, don't you? Because he's got that Haaland player, the game's gone, oh, he's got a very rare player. He must have spent $1 million on packs.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what it is.
Let's give him more.
Well, I still ain't getting any of this other kind of super players because like the highest ones at the moment are like Benzema and Modric and Vinicius Jr. I mean, I haven't got anywhere near those, but I got Baldy, which is the left wing back for Barca, who's pretty sharpish, and I got Stegen, the goalie, who's replaced the goalie in my team.
I mean, my heart's breaking for you that you didn't get the top tier team of the season players. When I got my red pick for my players this week was a fucking championship team of the season player for my EFL pack. So yeah, my heart bleeds for you.
I got a couple of those. I got about 4 or 5 of those, the championship ones, as well as about 4 Saudi-based ones as well.
Oh, I've not had any of the Saudi ones yet.
Same Saudi one. I got the same Saudi guy 3 times. So, I mean, you just get them. But like I said, how far did you get in your divisions in the end then?
So I think I got up. Yeah, I'm up to Div 6. I managed to get up to there in like the limited time that I played it the other night.
But easily, right?
Oh yeah. Like, the only thing, like, it took ages because nobody was quitting out.
Yeah.
Like there was a game I won it 13-1, and the guy would not quit. I was like, mate, like, come on.
He's wanting you to quit. That's what it is.
I know, and you know the thing was is like, I tried every tactic under the book. I tried obviously scoring. I tried watching the celebrations. I tried passing it along the back. I tried just switching the ball from wing to wing. Nothing. He just kept on chasing my guys. I'm like,
just nothing.
You're a dick. It wasn't even like one of the ones where I could like put the controller down and like go and do the dishes and come back and the guy still hadn't moved. Like, I'm like, mate, what are you doing? Like, what is your life descended to that you are still trying to get the ball off me when it's 13-1?
Sounds like a hero.
In his defense, that would be totally me if I played FIFA. I'd be like, no, I'm not fucking quitting. I'm going to make you suffer through this, cunt.
Absolutely. Dick. But then you get, like, you can tell because you get some, like, you can see the God Squads, the people who have just thrown money at it. Absolutely throwing money at, and then within the first 15 minutes of the game, you're 3-0 up. And you went, yeah, that team was bought. That wasn't built because you are shit. Shit.
I've only come across twice where they've sort of seen my team and just quit out straight away. That's only happened twice.
I've seen some of the teams and I'm looking at it and went, how the fuck am I going to beat that team? Like, what the actual
I told you, the ones with the better teams in that division are usually the cackest.
Yeah. And I mean, folk must look at my team because I've got, as it currently stands with my team, I have two special players. When I was playing it, I've now bought more of the ones that I was telling you about, Gray, but I hadn't actually played any games with him now. I've got two players that are special. One's a Team of the Week Akanji, it's 84 rated. Ooh. And one was the rule breaker Ivan Toney, 85 rated. Ooh. Everything else is gold. And these guys were like all team of the seasons. It's like...
What are the odds of getting someone like Tony in the pack?
Oh, not in a pack.
I wasn't betting. Ross got it.
We're not touching that one.
I just realised what you said straight after.
I'm not touching that
one. If you don't know, Jay.
Yes, good. Yes, I fully understood that reference.
The player that we just mentioned, Ivan Toney, just got an 8-month... Well, he's banned until January for placing bets, basically.
232 sports bets or something?
Yeah, he's not allowed to do any kind of football activity until 17th of January
or something. Yeah.
Do you think he's going to put bets on that full time?
Which he, of course, saw a 17-1, but
that's
not
exactly.
I need to ask him why is it bad that he was betting? Is betting on himself?
Part of the football policy is you're not allowed to make any bets on football. Any other sport's fine, just not on
football. Because you could have mates that play for Chesterfield. And you could go, right, I put £1,000 on over 4 cards this game. Oh, he's just going to get booked, and then whatever I win, I'll slip you a sub. So
I see.
Yeah,
things like that.
Bit like there was a news thing a couple of years ago where there was a substitute goalie playing for Sutton against Arsenal. Yeah. Well, that's the thing. He manipulated because he put a bet on saying that he would be seen on TV eating a pie, and he got done by the FA.
Yep.
To be fair, he was like Mr. Cattle.
I mean, he was at least 17, 18 stone.
And then some. Jesus.
Yeah.
My buddy's not that big.
So see, I've learned something new today. You're not allowed to bet on football if you play football.
Nope.
Interesting.
Correct.
I mean, not that I'm ever going to be in that situation, but the more you know.
Only because you don't bet.
Plus, you're too old.
It's definitely because I don't bet.
Exactly. It's nothing to do with the technical ability.
No. I could be up there right now if I wanted to, but we're busy here, aren't we? We got things to discuss. Like
podcast every Sunday, 8 p.m-ish.
See,
priorities.
You say you can't talk about FIFA. Here we go. Here you are talking about FIFA. See, we got you.
Oh, yeah, wonderful. Right, any more FIFA, gentlemen, or should we move on?
No, we'll let you off with just that.
Good.
You're lucky there's no FM talk.
Very quickly. Yeah.
What's that?
Do you want to talk about Saints Row quickly?
Yeah, very brief. It was just because I've completed the last game I was playing there, the Dead Island 2. I thought I'd have to move on to another one of my RPGs to get those finished off. And I got I put One Piece back on there to see if I could finish that, and Saints Row, because I haven't finished that either. So I'm just going to flip between those two. And at the moment, I picked Saints Row, so I've just been diving back into that one, the reboot
new
one.
Saints Row.
Newish, I think it was 2022 when it came out. So last year's one.
The newest,
the latest one.
Yeah.
Because they just released some DLC or something, and they or some free updates or something.
Yeah, some weird sort of unlocks that popped up when I sort of loaded the game up, but it still feels massively disconnected from where the last ones were. But the missions are still kind of funnish, and the story's just as mental and far fetched. So there's still some fun to be had, and there's lots of things that I can do. So it's not as taxing as what Dead Island 2 was, but there's still plenty fun to be had.
Yeah.
But I've given it another couple of hours worth the last week, so I'm going to try and plow through that.
Very nice. Good. All right, well, I'll wrap my one up quickly then, and then we'll see where we're at with time and stuff. But I've been playing a game called No One Lives Under the Lighthouse. You know me, always playing the big bangers. Everybody's obviously heard of this wonderful AAA experience. It's a short. It's a short indie sort of horror-ish psychological thriller type thing.
Oh my god!
The visuals are all very reminiscent of like Sega Saturn / PS1 style. Although they do the cardinal sin, which a lot of people who do these sort of retro visual style, where they just whack a horrible footer over the top of it, rather than just letting the bare polygon like designs speak for themselves. So it all looks very grainy, like in the distance. And I'm not a big fan of that aspect, but generally, I don't mind the aesthetic. It's quite a nice sort of retro style. And the idea is you're on this island with a lighthouse, and the previous lighthouse keeper's gone missing. So it's your job to keep it maintained for a week until they find someone to replace you. And while that sounds a bit like what's a lighthouse sim type thing, that keeping it running is just part of the story. It's not like you have to go out every day and craft materials or anything. You just level 1 is this, level 2 is this, level 3 is this, etc., etc. And it goes quite weird. About an hour and a half in, it sort of the reason that the lighthouse keeper disappears is explained, and then it all goes a bit more creepy than initially expected. But I enjoyed it. My review's up now. It was enjoyable enough. It's not gonna set the world on fire, but if you're into sort of retro style, it's not actually scary in the slightest, but it's quite effective at setting like an atmosphere. So when you're running around a lighthouse, you can see here you've got the sort of oil lantern in your hand. Sometimes that'll cut out and you'll be in pitch black and you can only sort of see like a foot in front of you. And so you'll be running around and they'll flash up little images or shapes, or they look like someone's standing there or a creature, or whatever. And yeah, for what they've got to work with, they set up a decent atmosphere, and it's enjoyable enough, like I said, to play through for a couple of hours. But obviously, I don't know if it's really anyone else.
So
it's sort of tense until later on when they show you the enemy, and then as always, it sort of deflates it a little bit because that's what I'm running away from. Okay.
What level of tenseness is it? Sort of someone flying in a lift or someone coughing at a doctor's without covering their mouth?
Yeah, I'd probably say some walking past someone in a field, as they shout, "Hey, you!" and you're like, "Are they talking to me?" You turn around and you realise they're talking to someone else, and then you carry on about your day. That's about it, really. Yeah, you're like, do I have to turn around? Yeah, no, enjoyable. What was you going to say, Special Guest Pete? Sorry.
I'll say, can you confirm or not whether or not the title of the game is actually correct? Then does nobody live under the house?
Well,
or is that?
That's spoilers.
That's I was going to say. That's the mystery to be unravelled, isn't it? But It's safe to say all is not as it seems on the Lighthouse Bay.
Who would have thunk it?
I know. But yeah,
confirmed somebody does indeed live under the lighthouse.
I think somebody or something.
See, look, there's tense right there for you.
See, there we go.
We create our own tension.
Yeah. Like I said, my review's up now. You can go read that, and I enjoyed it enough to give it a decent enough score. So we'll go with that. Right, that's all the games we've been playing this week, gentlemen. Let's get Special Guest Pete. It's been a few weeks. Are you ready to get a good solid plug-in from Scottish Gruff over here?
Please, I've got a big gaping hole of plug-in that needs plug-in, so just plug away.
That's some fucking tension and a half. That is easy.
I'm not used to doing a double plug-in, so I'll need to
relieve the tension and plug me.
Right,
there's not enough audio lube to handle that much plug-in.
Now that I'm in the zone for a good plug-in. So patreon.com/Xbox Tavern. If you want to come over and support us with your hard-earned money, it is greatly appreciated. You will make the show run smoothly, the website run smoothly. And once we start getting a wee bit of following, even be able to do things like giveaways and things like that. Might be able to get you some Xbox Tavern merch. Who knows? Some Xbox gift cards. Who knows? The world will be your oyster. Yes. Apple and Spotify podcasts, if you could jump over there and rate us 5-star, that would be greatly appreciated. If you want to leave a wee comment underneath, things you like about the show, things that you dislike, things you think we could do better, any feedback is good feedback. Written reviews can be found at xboxtavern.com. Jay will have a list of those later on in the show. Socials running on the bottom of the screen: Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, Patreon, TikTok. You'll be able to find us in some variation of at Xbox Tavern or at Xbox Tavern Official. Discord. Today's game was what the fuck? Never heard of that game in my life.
Even one that I've not heard of, that one.
Yeah. Same with yesterday. Never heard of that in my life. Don't know where the fuck they're pulling these games from, but please give it a buy. But please pick something that we can all at least get in 6 guesses, because these ones were properly solid. That's our Guess the Game channel. We've also got a Game Pass channel as well. So if you want to give your thoughts on our Project Game Pass for this month, Redfall, jump in. Let us know if you like it. Things maybe you are one of these people who are rating it 8.9 out of 10 because you're really enjoying it. Love to hear your thoughts on it. And alternatively, if you're at the same sort of end of the spectrum as we are and think it's a big sort of mishit and things you think they could be able to do better, let us know your thoughts in the Discord channels as well. And last but by no means least, our amazing people over at Insert Coin. Xbox Tavern 23 can be used for £5 off orders over £50.
And highly recommend you doing so as well. I think
especially seeing as they had a flash sale for God of Tsushima and Ghost of Tsushima and God of War recently as well.
Yes. Did you see the new hoodie they put up? I think yesterday or the day before,
with a big ruin on the back of it.
Yeah,
it's awesome.
Do like a bit of Insert Coin goodness here.
Yes.
So yeah, check them out, give them some love, and give us some love as well. That'd be wonderful. Thank you very much. Well, gentlemen,
please love us.
Obviously, the news is a bit sparse this week, so I don't imagine we're going to get through it it's going to take very long to get through. So,
also, just before we start, who wound up Take Two? They just got opinions on everything this week. Just fucking, you get an opinion, you get an opinion, you get.
Everybody gets one. Well, what I was going to say, Ian's obviously Ian's supposed to be doing his top 5 every week, isn't he? Yes. He's not here this week because he's off in Florida.
Sunning it up.
Swami git. So I thought I'd interject, and I'm not doing a top 5, but I wanted to have a little test, see whether you guys like this or not. A little game of 20 questions.
Ooh, I do like about
20 questions.
Special
like video
questions.
Game 20 questions.
Oh, please tell me it's all about the Activision deal.
Yeah.
I would kneel. I am switched on with this.
So, I mean, this I must admit, this is wholly ripped off of GameScoop, IGN's GameScoop, because I love that's part of my favorite podcast, I think, and my favorite part of their podcast is their
second favorite podcast.
Obviously, apart from Xbox Tavern's Xbox Tavern. So yeah, I thought I'd give it a go. So I'm thinking of a game. You got 20 questions. Ask me yes or no answers, and then between you, it's a team effort, and then I want you to see if you can figure out which game it is. So, the floor is yours, gentlemen.
Have you spoken about it on the podcast 100 times?
No.
Oh, are we working at a game you're trying to do? Sorry.
Yeah. So that rules out Lake and Resident Evil.
Is it survival horror?
No.
Has it been released in the last 5 years?
No.
Is the game older than me?
It'll probably help on how old you are, but I'm pretty sure no. So that's 4 questions there.
Is it Sega game?
No.
It's not Sonic.
Is it an Xbox exclusive?
Yes.
Oh.
I don't think it's Halo or Gears because you have to think about it. So Xbox exclusive that you had to think about.
No,
was Hades? No, it's not Hades.
Don't fucking say Hades on this podcast. That's a bad word. You'll be kicked off the show.
I can't remember what year it came out.
Fuck you. I'm taking a drink of my cider.
Question.
We don't have to take in turns.
It's an Xbox exclusive that isn't Halo or...
No, go on.
Should we just ask if it's Halo or Gears?
Is it Killer Instinct?
No.
What did you think about it?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Is it yes or no?
I was like, why is my hands up there? No, it's not Killer Instinct.
Is it a third-person shooter?
No.
Is it Halo or Gears?
Yes.
I knew it.
Well, it's not Gears because I just said
wait, hang on, wait.
Said no.
Is it Halo 2?
No.
Is it Halo Reach?
No.
Halo Combat Evolved?
No.
ODST.
If it's
No.
turning off.
It's gonna be Gears, isn't it?
No, because it says it's not Gears because it's not a third
He
person.
said not third person.
Oh, okay, sorry. Halo Wars.
No.
Oh, is it Gears? No. It's because
What,
it's
Gears
Gears Tactics. Yeah.
You're at 14, by the way. And technically, I should have explained this really. You're supposed to not guess until if you guess wrong, you fail. But we'll carry on.
Oh, bit late.
Carry on because
Billy.
we're going with this. Yeah. I mean,
6 guesses in. Bit late.
you got six guesses left, or 6 questions left.
Is
I
it
should say.
part of the Halo
what?
series?
Yeah, so I was going to say narrow it down.
He said Halo, yeah.
So it's definitely from
we already
Halo.
asked that one.
You
We already asked that question.
got 5
so it
left.
doesn't count. No, we already asked that question.
You got 5 left.
Is it Master Chief Collection?
No.
That's not a game, is it?
Shut up.
Well, I would if I was thinking it. Yeah, but yeah.
So we've done 1, 2. What was it?
We didn't do 3 or 4.
We've done Reach
Done
or ODST.
ODST. And
Done
Well, we had
Halo
to worry about
Wars.
the age, so it'd have to be either 3 or 4. You'd think.
Yeah, it's 5-year-old. Older than 5-year-old, sorry.
oh, we got
I mean,
5 guesses, so we could go
I
Halo.
was going to say,
3, 4, and 5.
considering we're allowing guesses all around the place, you got 4 guesses and about 2 games left to choose from. So you
go on
might as well go. for it.
Halo 3.
Hey! Success!
Booyah!
Success!
What's my prize?
Halo 3. A round of applause. So yeah, so I thought we might play that every now and then, maybe not every week, but we might play every now and then. It came out in 2007 by the looks of it here. 2007?
Wow, that's old.
2008, sorry, maybe. Oh no, sorry, yeah, 2007. Sorry, I'm fucking
That's
dates all over
old.
the
I
place.
didn't realise it was that old.
I call shenanigans because
That's
he delayed quite a lot when he was like Halo. Talk about Halo and Gears. He was like,
Well, you know,
when I
just
said
gotta think about the
when I
answer.
said Xbox exclusive, you're like,
2007.
Oh, okay. So you were worried about whether Ross was older than 16.
Thanks, Jay.
Well, yeah, I've got
Well,
to
baby face,
throw
good looks.
some shenanigans in there. But yeah, so yeah, like I said, maybe we'll play that every now and then, and we'll play again next week, perhaps. Ian's not back next week. Well, he's not back for the next 5 years. But
Yeah, he's not back till mid-June.
Yeah.
Yes.
He's changed that E to an I. He's now they're both the same person.
But yes, anyway, so that's a little interstitial there. Let's get into the previously aforementioned news, shall we? And we're going to go with take 2, basically just rolling the roost for everything this week. The main story, which is on Video Games Chronicle here, says that Grand Theft Auto Publishers says groundbreaking games will drive a big jump in its sales next fiscal year. And Take-Two CEO Strauss Zelnick believes these titles will set new standards in our industries. He did say titles. Obviously, everybody's expecting the big whopper, the big old GTA 6, which they've officially announced they're working on, right? But they haven't shown anything apart from obviously the leaked gameplay that come out, which we assume was real because they kind of admitted it. Ross, do you think that Grand Theft Auto 6 could provide a new standard in the industry of video games?
Yes. Not a new not a new standard, but it'll certainly like their profits are going to skyrocket for GTA 6, especially if people know that the GTA Online is going to be as big a thing as it was. So obviously when GTA 5 first launched, like way back when it first launched, didn't have the online part. So
it just didn't work. I think it was about a month, isn't it? I think it came out about a month afterwards, didn't it?
I didn't realise it was. I thought it was a bit later. But obviously, I don't think anybody expected GTA Online to grow into what it is today. So everybody knowing what it's like for the next one coming out, it's going to be fucking huge. It's going to be unbelievable, and especially
it has to be their day one as well.
Yeah, especially if they do it along the lines of when you buy the game, you get X amount of stuff for online, like pre-planning, like you get shark cards, for example.
I mean, they might be generous and give like $5 of shark cards, but go on, Pete.
Woohoo!
I'll say my theory is where they say several groundbreaking titles is what they're now actually going to officially do is sell the story campaign and online separately, which would count as 2 different titles. Without trying to dampen anyone's parade, that's probably what's going to happen, isn't it?
But then the thing is, that might work because I can guarantee there's people that play GTA Online that have never had any interest in the story of it.
Oh yeah. But then would you pay 40 quid for just GTA Online?
I mean, the thing is, the amount of stuff they put into it, probably, because they do, like, it's always got new stuff coming in it. They've done a great job of, like, keeping it going, and, like, all the things you can do with it, like, the servers where there's, like, the role-playing servers where it's, like, people have put, like, British cop cars in it, and, like, you're a proper cop. And it's, like, just all these different things that you can do in GTA Online, the races, the heists, just everything that they've added. It's impressive how well supported it's been.
It's going to be 70 quid then, isn't it? Given how you describe what you can do, it's going to be a full release, full
blown
game.
The story's £70, the GTA Online's £70, and then if you want, you can buy the Super Deluxe Edition for $134.99. Save yourself £5.
Yeah.
Which is where your shark card comes from.
Bundle them together and save £5. Bundle them together and save £5. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah. I suppose the other option is obviously, as you said, shark cards is where they get their money from, pretty much exclusively from GTA 5 now. Yeah. Could they possibly release the multiplayer free to play and be like, here's a base edition? You can obviously buy the Founders Edition for whatever, get X amount of XP and buffs and shark cards and stuff, but they could separate up and then be like, everybody has GTA Online now. Go play, and then if you want to, throw us some money on pretend money, that would be wonderful.
Well,
go like Fallout,
both worlds.
Go like Fortnite type idea, not the battle pass as such, but make their money through everything that they add in.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, it could set a whole new precedent with them if they charge for online as well, because you think this is probably the only game that could get away with it. If you think if Halo came out, was it 2021? It came out, Infinite. If they charged separately for campaign and online, can you imagine the uproar that would have happened?
Oh man, it'd be ridiculous.
I think GTA could get away with it just because it's GTA.
Thing is, they wouldn't get away with it. They would get panned in the media, and it would still sell through the roof.
Yeah,
like so, the media that would at least call them out for it, and the people who play the game would just ignore it and go, "Yeah, but I really like to play it." Good. So. But it will be. Like that's the thing. Like when was the last time there was a bad GTA game?
Chinatown.
No, I was gonna say obviously it wasn't obviously Take Two, but obviously when the re-releases came out.
Well, yeah,
they're obviously not bad games, but they were kind of
substandard to what you were expecting. Yeah,
but then it wasn't them, was it? It was a third party that kind of shut the bed for that.
Yeah, but again, this whole thing, we can go back to the article, is in the next fiscal year of April 24 to March 25, so just under a year from us now, we could possibly have the next GTA as well as the next GTA Online and perhaps another title. So obviously they're publishing their new BioShock, which has so far been completely unrevealed. I don't imagine that's going to do numbers like GTA, but that could be another big boost as well. BioShock. Yeah, but I think is it Cloud Chamber? I think the studio is called, and they've announced all they've announced is that they're working on something. They haven't announced a name or like official name or date or anything like that. So we could very well see that as well as new GTA. Obviously, GTA is going to take up the bulk of it, but small add-ons like that. And Ross, you're a bit more of a 2K guy than the rest of us. Do you reckon something like a new Borderlands could swing into action here, or?
I don't think that's going to be the one that would drive up the sales, but it's talked about that there's going to be a next Borderlands game. I think a lot of people, I think two got away with it for having such a big gap because of how well received it was in regards to like story and things like that. But 3 has been quite heavily panned because the story was shit. A lot of good things about it, but the story was substandard. So maybe a Borderlands 4. I could definitely see that. I was thinking
they do the WWE as well, don't they? 2K.
Yep, and they do but they could even bring out a football game. Maybe that's the one that we were talking about. Like 2K could pick up the rights for the FIFA side of things instead of EA. Obviously, you've got Red Dead, another big one for sort of Rockstar in regards to that. That could be something that they might look at doing, even if it's a sort of re-release of the first one, like Red Dead Revolver. Like the actual first one all together, or even a remaster of Red Dead Redemption, the first game. I'm trying to think of other ones that would be like sort of big needle movers. I can think of plenty that they do, but ones that if they're saying like it's going to be the groundbreaking games, what would
I mean,
tick that box?
The thing is, but when they release GTA 6, I don't think they'll want another 2K. I mean, it's going to be they'll probably want a 3-month window where it's just GTA for them, I reckon.
Yeah.
But I mean, no matter what they
Wow,
do,
sure.
if GTA 6 holds up like GTA 5 has, they can release it whenever and then still pepper in title after title, 2 or 3
because
titles a year.
they know 15 years down the line, or however long fucking GTA's been out, it'll be fucking still be one of the most
10 years
played
this year.
games. How many years?
September 18th, it'll be 10 years.
Fair plays on
And,
its longevity.
Yeah, it's lasted a long time. Again, obviously GTA Online has pretty much held the fort for that game, but the single player is incredible.
For Nintendo. Because Jay will never forget the fact that I got midnight launch. Because I used to visit the game in Woking. I managed to get like not a VIP pass, but Jamie, Graham, and Ian rocked up at game at 5 to 12 and got jumped to the front of the queue.
Yeah, while Muggins here was over in front, waiting at the back like a
in and out in
like,
5 minutes. It was lovely.
Let me in. Yeah, those were the days. Good old midnight launches. But yeah, so read what he says here quickly, because I love business speak. I love a bit of business. I'm all about the business. He says, old Strauss-Zelnick says, looking at, I'm not even going to attempt to do a voice because I'm too bunged up. Looking at fiscal 2025, it's a highly anticipated year for our company. For the last several years, we've been preparing our business to release an incredibly robust pipeline of projects that we believe will take our company to even greater levels of success. In fiscal 2025, we expect this to enter a new era by launching several groundbreaking titles that we believe will set new standards in our industry and enable us to achieve over $8 billion in net bookings and over $1 billion in adjusted unrestricted operating cash flow. Fucking hell.
Jesus. Oh, any more terms?
Or maybe they found the microtransaction.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like I said, I think GTA 6 is a pretty solid bet, especially like I said, being 10 years since GTA 5 come out. So we'll see. Hopefully we're getting announced. Obviously we've got the sort of summer of games coming up, starting next week with Sony's State of Play and then Microsoft's on June 11th. And then I'm sure there'll be plenty more Ubisoft and Activision and all sorts of live streams and announcements and stuff. So maybe we'll see something sooner rather than later. Who knows? Very exciting indeed. Maybe they'll reveal it on September 5th or something, just to fuck over Starfield. Just here you go.
Fuck you.
But we'll see. Hopefully we'll get some more information on that soon. Then we can all play some GTA together, because that'd be wonderful. I love a bit of GTA. But they, like I said, they're not just getting involved in releasing groundbreaking video games. They're also sort of spreading the rumors about next-gen refresh consoles. So if this link wants to open here, I mean, this is a bit tenuous, this one, but we'll go with it anyway. Good old, is it him again? Is it Strauss-Zelnick? He's back. There he is, Strauss-Zelnick. He says on Pure Exports here, says the company held its latest earnings call last night, which included a bunch of Q&As from investors and other outlets. GamesIndustry.biz posed the question of a mid-gen console upgrade to Take-Two CEO Strauss-Zelnick, who mentioned that they were probably on the way. And then it's got a wonderful quote here. I mean, again, this is stretching it fucking thin. It says, we will probably see mid-gen consoles. And the previous next-gen consoles or mid-gen consoles, did not affect business very much. And that's about it, really. So, I mean, he's saying yes, maybe, but if anyone's going to know, good old Strauss-Zelnick's going to know. Graham, would you be interested in a mid-gen refresh of an Xbox console?
Depends what you get from it. Like, I mean, a lot of the games have all been kind of dialed back. I don't know if there's anything to sort of make it a selling point at the moment. You kind of needs more to go along with it. For what purpose? Until all the other games sort of catch up, so we're not dealing with games that aren't stressing it out anymore. Or sort of what's the benefit of it?
Yeah, it'd just be shinier and prettier, wouldn't it, really? It's not really going to game change things like, obviously, when the Series X come out, we had the SSD, we had the quick resume, we had 4K 60, although that's obviously shit the bed now. But yeah, just be more shiny.
So what selling point?
Yeah, I mean, the Series S would usually be the midway point, right? But obviously, they brought both out at the same time. Series S, diskless, all this, all that, but they've already got it out. So I don't know what they could bring to it, unless they bring out like a 2 terabyte, or is it 2 terabyte storage, I don't think what more they could do.
Yeah, I don't.
Like an X screen.
I went. That'd be good. I went down the Scorpio route. I rushed out. Oh my god, Project Scorpio! Oh, I need to get my limited edition one. That's got Project Scorpio.
Did you get the special edition one? Did you?
Right on, I was like, I must buy it. Yeah. What was that? It was a 1X, wasn't it? That was that one.
Yeah, Xbox One X. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember the big. Oh, I've got it! It's fantastic! And it, to be fair, was a marked improvement over the Xbox One, so that was fine.
But then the base Xbox One was not the greatest to start with, so that was
exactly. So, but then that at least made sense. Like what you're bringing out now to replace the Series X, it's not going to be. You're not going to be able to justify it.
No. I mean, it's still hard enough to get hold of them as it is. Let alone be like, oh, here's an even better one.
I mean, without jumping
slightly more.
Yeah, without jumping the boundaries over the like PlayStation side of it, like the box for the PS5 says 8K capabilities. Well, why are you bringing out a new console that this one can do 8K and we've not seen it yet? So, why are you bringing out a PS5 Pro when you've got a console over there that's not hitting those levels yet?
Yeah, and obviously the Series X is supposed to be the most powerful console over 12 teraflops, all that nonsense, and it's already struggling to run some stuff, but nothing is so bad that we're like, oh, we definitely need a new machine. I can't possibly play any of these games.
I think a lot of people are seeing it as well. Like the issues that the Xbox is facing is through the architecture of the game, the architecture of the system, because it uses a more complex system than say PlayStation does. It's much harder to optimize your game for it, and I think Microsoft are not struggling, but I think you're starting to see a lot of downsides with it.
Yeah, there's definitely some where, like I said, the Series X is supposed to be way more powerful than the PS5, and then you're getting Digital Foundry coming out saying, well, the PS5 version actually runs better because, like you said, whatever the developer wizardry they're doing behind the scenes is working out better. So we might see like a refresh in terms of that, maybe a slimmer console or something like that. Obviously, like you said, Pete, the Series S or a handheld.
I mean, I'd be up for a handheld. For Game Pass, yeah. But it'll never happen.
So 2K are just fucking ruling the roost right now. They got big games coming out. They reckon we're going to see new consoles to play said big games, and they're also not opposed to Xbox acquiring our good friends Activision Blizzard.
Woohoo!
They say
China, probably the only ones that aren't.
Yeah. So again, from pure Xbox, I believe this is still to do with their investor call we'll be talking about. Outlaw IGN spoke to 2K CEO Strauss Zelnick. I just enjoy saying his name. He looks like
sounds like it.
Typical CEO kind of guy, but he's got a great name. Asking for thoughts on the Xbox deal. Zelnick voices support for the merger, where he seems to hint that this investment from Microsoft will help the industry at large. And they got, again, another fully intensive quote here. What's good for them is also good for the industry. And that's the end of that. But further down, he says, I think, but so I'll just read it. I'm trying to skim through it. Despite reservations from like Sony and Google, not all video game companies are against the deal happening. So far, cloud gaming has proved a major sticking point in getting things over the line with regulators, something that Zelnick also touched on with his conversation with IGN. He says, I think it's important never to confuse a distribution technology with a business model. I would love to believe that streaming our titles would massively expand the marketplace. So obviously he's just seeing dollar signs left, right and center, and he's also like, well, if they do this, then maybe we can like hop on the back and they can help us out, maybe. Yeah. Especially because, Pete, are you interested in streaming 2K titles? And would you wonder, you reckon they might be like, oh, Activision Blizzard, maybe we could, maybe we could come in, little trifecta going on.
Why not, eh? Why not?
I mean, I can see myself. I can see myself probably sort of handheld sitting on the bus or the train or something, a wee bit of Borderlands, just doing some little shooter while I'm sitting there. I know we're bored of how long this deal's dragging out, but I mean, if you take PlayStation, like if PlayStation just got muted and every other video game company spoke, whether it be Nintendo as an actual company or if it was developers like 2K or things like that, and they listened to them, the regulators would be like, oh yeah, this actually does make sense. Is GeForce Now have just got, was it Gears, Deathloop's coming, and there's another one as well, but Gears is the first game that's touched down as part of the 10-year deal. The 10-year deal that we signed, even though we don't have Activision, because we were still committed to expanding the cloud gaming space. But apparently we are restricting cloud gaming. It's like, you listen to the arguments for what the CMA put out, and you're like, how the fuck did you come up with that conclusion?
Yeah. Well,
it's Deathloop, Grounded, and Pentiment coming on Thursday, May 25th.
Yeah. It just boggles my head that that was the one that they wanted to make their flag point. It would ruin the cloud gaming market.
What cloud gaming market?
But even to an extent, the whole point of the deal was GeForce Now was getting Call of Duty for 10 years. But now they don't get Call of Duty. So who's limiting the market now?
Yeah. To be fair, it is literally just the CMA and that's it. The CMA and that's it. Everyone else on
everybody else. I mean, I think what's the next big one's the FTC. That's the next one that meets at the end of the month. And then
they're suing them or something. Well, because obviously they're in America, so they got to sue them to get anything done.
To get anybody to listen, they need to put another lawsuit in. But that's China, as much as people shit on China and things like that, it's a massive hurdle in regards to if you think of companies like Tencent and things like that that's based in that sort of neck of the woods. If companies like that are getting regulated over there, if they're now approving the Xbox one, that's a massive hurdle. The European Union have obviously came out and went, yeah, no, we're fine with that. And they came up with compromises based on what the EU had issues with. And Microsoft went, yeah, that's fine. We'll take that into consideration and we'll work with sort of what you want to say. If we do this, are you quite happy to accept that? And EU were like, yeah, no, that's fine. So the FTC is the next big one. And then obviously the appeals process for the CMA. But when you've got politicians and things like that coming out and saying, look, we might need to have a word with the CMA to say the way that you're regulating things is making it look like the UK is closed for business for tech companies.
It's probably the first time English gamers have actually paid attention to what the Prime Minister actually said.
What do you mean English gamers? Fucking the first time anybody has listened to what the Prime Minister's got to say.
Yeah.
What do you mean? He's always talking about leveling up. Don't you gamers like leveling up? Level up, level up.
Fucking idiot. So
anyway.
I can see it dragging out for much longer, but at the end of the rainbow, I do see the deal going through based on everything that's happening through different regulators.
Yeah, and again, I was listening to, I guess, IGN or podcast, I can't remember exactly, but they were talking about the possibilities of the deal going through, but we don't then get Activision Blizzard games in the UK, like streaming or on Game Pass or anything. That's just going to make it look like cunts, though, isn't it?
That's never going to happen either.
No. Well, that's fine. We'll just set odds to American time zone, right?
VPN for the win.
VPN's all around. Yes, nice.
Can you imagine Microsoft did that? Just come around and say, everybody who signs up for Xbox Game Pass gets a year's worth of VPN for free.
Yeah.
NordVPN included, Game Pass pack. Yes, like this. What's this for? I don't know. Just give it a try. Just put it on.
Just internet security. That's all.
Well, we'll have to watch this space because obviously the Activision Blizzard deal is not going to go away anytime soon, as much as we might wish it to. Right, there's not really much else in terms of news, so we'll just fly through these real quick.
The best one.
Go on. Oh, hang on.
Power A.
Oh no, yeah, we'll get to the other. We'll get to the other bits. So, all right, let's do Power A quickly. Then, Ross, you put this one in here. Tell me all about what's going on here.
Have you actually had a look at it? It is fucking spectacular. So it's a controller, as you would expect from Power A, but it's a gamepad as well. So you have your full controller with your legs and things like that on the back of it, and then the whole middle section pops out. So you've literally got like a NES size controller. So if you're just playing on your phone, doing your little jaunt to work or things like that, you've just got this nice little controller that sort of just fits in a pocket. If Jill scroll up, he'll be able to see it.
Yeah, so I'm just trying to load up.
It's fantastic. And it's fully wireless.
That's the general gist of it. And then you've got where's the rest of the pictures? I thought there's better pictures on here.
Have you cut all the pictures out, Jay? But yeah, you basically got 4 different designs that you can get on it. It's a 4-in-1 type idea.
That's pretty cool.
But it was just for the fact that obviously we were talking about the whole Power A last week in regards to how great their product is. Like how much you loved that one that you had, Jay, and you say like literally the only downside of it is it's wired. And then I've got my Tiny Tina one, which I think is a brilliant controller as well. And, as I was saying last week on the show, I don't know why you would buy the Xbox controller over the Power A if you could get over the wired side of it. But this new Wii controller looks like absolutely fantastic. That's an interesting photo there. But yeah, that's the full size version.
Stretched out there.
Yeah. Oh, you're right. It really is like that.
Yeah, it's tiny. It's close. It just shrinks together. But yeah, no, I just thought it was ideal. And then like you get peripheral parts as well. So you get a clip for obviously if you're using it for cloud gaming that like fits perfectly into the back of it. It just looks a great little like product.
Yes, you got a nice little base here, like you said, and then you can add on these little wings down here to make it like a normal controller. And fully wireless Xbox and PC and mobile, obviously.
It's just nice to see. Like we say, the only thing that we've like sort of held back from on the Power A controllers is the fact that it's not wireless.
Yes, that's everything you can get in the kit there.
Oh, a little one of those.
Yeah,
phone adapter.
I mean, the third party controller market is come along a long way since the shit.
Oh yeah.
Game branded controllers we had way back in the day that fell apart after an hour.
Was it Thundercat or what was it? Thunder? Mad Cats. That's what it was. Mad Cats.
Yeah.
That was the ones.
Yeah.
The translucent ones with the turbo button.
Yeah. all about the turbo buttons. But yeah. So it looks good. I believe it came out last week. That controller. It's not cheap. It's about 150 quid, I think.
Crikey.
But yes, watch the space. So that's an interesting controller edition there. We've also got some Mortal Kombat 1 news. Special guest Pete, you're our resident Mortal Kombat man. Are you excited about Mortal Kombat 1?
I am. Obviously, it's been teased for a few weeks now. And it was being teased as kind of a reboot. But did any of you free play number 11, like the story?
Not 11, no.
No. But yeah, it was good. It was good clarity. The only thing that concerned me is obviously the paid DLC, where you get the extra story and you get the endings. You can actually choose one of 2 endings. You can choose the Liu Kang ending or the Shang Tsung ending. And it seems that people that chose the Shang Tsung ending, it's not going to be part of their kind of canon universe anymore. But for what it is, it looks good. We won't go through the fighter pass that things have already been leaked, but I'm looking forward to it because I mean the characters this is probably the best looking Mortal Kombat I have seen like ever. This is like proper wow, like they look like real men, like they look like real people,
and Demon Woman.
With
Melina covering her face up with a mask.
Well, this is the thing. Like, one of the questions was, Melina existed because Shang Tsung created her, but obviously in this world that Liu Kang created, how is she now there? And Ed Boon's like, wait and find out. It's like, ooh. So it's gonna be interesting to see where they take this story. I was quite looking forward to seeing where it's going to go after 11 DLC ended. So I'm looking forward to it. And it's releasing I've actually got a game to look forward to that isn't F1 or FIFA this year. I'm excited.
Was it September sometime, wasn't it?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, I mean, I was surprised that they had like Melina and Katana and like Kung Lao and that, because obviously we speculated last week that because of Mortal Kombat 1, it's just going to be a remake of the original cast. So it's good that they're including some of the sort of fan favorites later on.
Yeah, I don't think a game that would come out in 2023 would literally just erase all the roster and just put the original. Was it 8? Is it? Was it 8? Or, There's no way. I mean, that it's like, right, here's your base 8 characters. By the way, here's the rest 50 in DLC you got to pay for. Yeah, because you wouldn't be able to unlock it in today's game. You'd have to literally pay for them all.
I have to facetiously challenge your statement saying it looks the most realistic one, because like the first one was based off like personal animated. Like,
I was thinking that
the digitized humans doing the.
You can't get more real than actual people.
Yeah. Well, until we get an LA Noire start Mortal Kombat, then
I mean, obviously it's just a trailer. They're showing no gameplay, but we're getting more information soon and a September-ish release date. So looking forward to September 19th. Thank you. So we've got a few weeks for Starfield before we can all bin it off and start playing Mortal Kombat and beating the shit out of each other. And one last one which I just added in very quickly earlier on. Again, more for I think me and Special Guest Pete here. Did you see, Pete, the Supermassive are doing a teaming up with Dead by Daylight developer Behavior to create a Dead by Daylight interactive story-based horror game?
I haven't. Just
I
never played Dead by Daylight, so
they've not revealed very much information. I mean, Dead by Daylight kind of passes by, really, not really our sort of thing. But they're crafting like a traditional Supermassive style game in the vein of Man of Medan and Little Hope and stuff. But based on Dead by Daylight, so they're going to have the counselors and the killers and stuff. And I mean, at the very least, we're getting another Supermassive game, which we're big fans of here at Xbox 7. So looking forward to this, and we'll get some more information soon. Obviously, we've got what's it called again? The space one coming out soon. I forget the name of it now.
I can't remember now. Don't know.
But either way, we got that coming
last year, wasn't it?
Yeah, definitely was the last one. And then we got the. It's going to annoy me. I'll have to look it up in a second. But so we got that, and we got this to look forward to as well. Because when they originally tweeted out, I thought it was just like a crossover, like they were going to put the killers from Dark Pictures into Dead by Daylight, but they're actually making a proper single player game. So
alongside Nicolas Cage.
Indeed. Who's going to be in Dead by Daylight as well? Is he already in there, or is he coming soon?
He's coming soon.
Good old Nick Cage. Can't beat it, eh? Can't beat it. Anyway, that's about it for the news really this week. We've somehow stretched out quite a regular amount of 90 minutes roughly, despite there not really being a massive amount of news. So thank you very much everybody for listening so far. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Let's get into the rounding off of the show, shall we, Ross? Do you want to tell us things that come into the Game Pass?
I can indeed. So couple coming on May 23rd. We've got Amnesia The Bunker, which is coming to console. Amnesia series, fantastic. If you've not played it, jump in, because that one, and I always forget the one that's to do with pigs as well. There's one that's it was a spin-off on the Machine for Pigs. And then Dark Descent, that was the original, wasn't it? Amnesia Dark Descent. Fantastic game series. And then another one, May 23rd, you've got Planet of Lana coming on to the console as well. And then these two are May 25th. You've got Cassette Beasts and Railway Empire 2. First one on console, second one on console and PC. And rounding out the month on May 30th, you've got Far World Pioneers coming on console and PC.
Very nice. There's some interesting games to look forward to there. Especially because Pete, Ian's not here, so would you like to do the honours of things that are leaving Game Pass?
Yes, we've got an updated list now. So first game, these are all leaving on the 31st of May. So first one is the Europa Universalis, which is leaving on the 31st, which was a PC-only game. And then all the console games, you've got Evil Genius 2, A World Domination, FIFA 21, oh my God, a game that Graham mentioned earlier, Floppy Nights, and the last one, at least probably the best of all, Lawn Mowing Simulator.
Oh no!
Leaving at the end of the month.
How will we call?
Got just under 2 weeks ago. Check them out, but yeah. I mean, the Corey reviewed Lawn Mowing Simulator. He was quite high on it. Like, it was a nice
don't knock
chill out game. To
all of these wee games, like I got the Power Wash Simulator when it came on Game Pass. It's fucking fantastic.
Yeah, and they're still updating that game as well. I saw something on the socials the other day. I'm like, wow.
They put SpongeBob SquarePants.
Yeah, I was about to say SpongeBob. I was like, underwater. I was like, how's that going to work?
It was more the one with the Croft Manor.
And I was going to say, the two.
Yeah, done Croft Manor as well, which was awesome.
So great. What about Floppy Nights? So should people give that a go before it leaves?
You can do. It's
no. That's a no.
We can do. We're wondering whether we should.
Well, I was just saying, it's kind of a niche kind of game. It's a bit of a kind of childish in its kind of storyline, and it's kind of a turn-based, isometric kind of grid-based battle game. But yeah, it was all right.
Is it charming?
I don't think it quite hits the charming mark.
Oh,
that's Geo. Fuck done.
We're not in for that. Not in for that.
Done so.
Yeah, I would say it just misses charming. It's okay.
Aww.
Yeah. We're all about the charming games. One day I'm going to have to do like a top 10 list of charming games on Xbox. just charm everyone to play them. Well, I mean, if you don't want to check out Floppy Nights, you can always go check out the Xbox Games with Gold. Graham, tell them what you can pick up for freebies-ish. Sort of.
You can still pick up Star Wars Episode 1 Racer, which is available until May the 31st. And you've got Hoa, which is now available from May 16th to June the 15th.
Nice. I meant to redeem that one. I'll have to do that in a minute because I'm looking forward to playing that one. And then we'll get some more Games with Gold next month. Nice. Well, gentlemen, if anyone else has got anything to say, please say it now or forever hold your peace, at least until next week anyway.
No.
We all good.
Cool. Good. Nice. Well, thank you very much for listening to us watching Xbox Tavern's Xpod Tavern episode 119th, which we record every Sunday at 8 p.m.
Yes.
Over on youtube.com/Xbox Tavern official.
Correct.
You can find some reviews over on xboxtavern.com, and you can follow us on Twitter at Xbox Tavern, and where you can also find myself at Enexand. You can find Scottish Gruff Ross at
Scottish Gruff,
Graham
at Graham Reaper,
and Pete
at Peter Kinich.
Thank you very much, and we shall see you all next week for episode 120th, where we shall discuss more wonderful, charming games. Goodbye.
ActiBliz.
What game?